Welcome, guys, to the Tech Bros Repair channel. I'm going to keep this intro short and brief, but here you will find all the latest and greatest tech repairs from cell phones, cellular devices, tablets, computers, PCs, laptops, audio equipment, gaming consoles, you name it, we fix it. And you can get the information that you need to do your own repairs at home right here at the Tech Bros Repair channel. But to get into this actual video, we have a PlayStation 5 breakdown. This breakdown is typically good for cleanings. Also, any motherboard repairs that may need to take place, you can access as well. We won't go all the way into the full body breakdown, which would be the heat sink underneath, a power supply, things like that. Literally, we're just going to go into how to access the inner workings of the PlayStation 5 itself. So let's get into it. As you can see, we have our cover plate here for the PlayStation 5. This does not require any unscrewing. It literally has downward facing hooks underneath. You just need to get a good grasp of the shield plate and slide it downward, as you can see right here. Boom, and it pops right off. You won't break anything. Don't be afraid. You're good. Okay, once you have accessed the inner panel, once you have removed the outer panels of the PlayStation 5, now we can begin to check out the screws and begin to remove those so that we can get inside. You have a T9 screw and Phillips screw throughout the entire PlayStation 5. There may be some other screws, but as far as accessing the inner workings, those are the screw bits that you will need, a T9 and a Phillips. You remove this tab so you can get access to the fan connector. Um, Again, this is a Phillips screwdriver to remove the expansion hard drive plate. Yes, you can expand, the storage on your PlayStation just by adding a SSD, and it goes right there. But yes, this is the T9 bit on a power drill, just a little bit more efficient than using a traditional screwdriver. A lot of wrist work. We're gonna let the driver do the work here. But yes, you remove your 4 screws so you can access the 12-volt fan and remove it as well. Always good to keep a magnetic mat around. We tell everybody to do so just so you can keep track and keep your screws organized so you can know exactly where they go. As you can see here, we placed them exactly where they go. So once you place the fan back inside the PlayStation 5, all you have to do is insert your screws exactly how you have them laid on your mat, and you're good to go. Um, but as you can see here, we're beginning to remove the T9 screws so that we can actually access the inner workings of the PlayStation 5. I believe you have about 12 screws or so here. Give it a nice little, working. Here you have a sticker covering another security screw here. It actually isn't illegal to remove that tab. You can remove that tab and remove the screw as well. It does not void your warranty, contrary to belief. Here you have your fan connector. Be very careful when removing the connectors to not be too aggressive. Ill, dirty fan. Just you want to wiggle it and get a nice grasp before you pull. Do not pull by the wiring. You want to pull from the base of the connector. Um, but here we have all of these screws removed, and you can just literally pull this cover shield off of the PlayStation. Um, don't be too aggressive. Just make sure that all of your screws are unscrewed and just give it a nice little pull. So here we have the first, I would say, layer of hardware when accessing PlayStation 5. Um, as you can see, the Wi-Fi connectors were previously unhooked. This PlayStation 5 had been open, but we were just going through the breakdown for video purposes. But yes, when you open a fresh PlayStation 5 that has never been opened, this is what you will see. All the connectors should be connected. You want to make sure that your wiring is not getting caught underneath anything. Please be careful when removing the Wi-Fi cables. They are very fragile, and if you sever them, you will have to replace the entire cable, and hopefully the connector is not still attached to the board, because then you have a bigger issue. All right, so freshly opened PlayStation 5, this is what you will see. First, you want to start by unhooking your Wi-Fi cables. Again, please be gentle when doing so. Make sure that you remove them out the way so they do not get caught in any of the screws or underneath any of the plates. Here you see we have the disk drive cable that was just removed from the front. And now we can begin to remove the 43 screws holding this plate down. Very tedious work. It would be best to take a picture of the console at this current point so you can at least have something to reference as an example of where the screws go back. You don't want to put screws in the wrong spot. You don't want to miss any screws that can affect the APU, different things like that, the heating. So take a picture so you have it, and then once it's time to close this bad boy up, you can just return to the picture and use it as reference for where the screws are located at. But yes, all 43 screws we will be removing, as you can see. All right, now that we have all of our screws removed, we're going to place those to the side. You want to pull gently, do not pull aggressively so you don't damage anything. But once you get all of the screws removed, this top plate should just come right off. And now we have access to the motherboard. This is a Phillips screw holding down the clamp for the APU. Just 2 screws. Again, you want to make sure that you remove those. Be very careful when you have the board of the PlayStation 5 open. You don't want to scratch anything. You do not want to drop anything on the motherboard. You can make one problem into several problems. Here, there is a clamp lock, should I say, holding down a flex cable that you have to push back to remove. You do not want to just pull the cable. The teeth will get stuck, and then you have to figure out how to get those teeth out. So when removing the motherboard, again, please be gentle, just slightly wiggling. Boom, and there you have it. Check out the underside of the board. As you can see, we have access to the APU, the liquid metal. If that does need to be replaced or cleaned, you have access to that as well. Underneath this shield plate, you have your power supply and your heatsink for cooling purposes. But at this point, you are actually able to do almost all repairs needed, especially all board repairs, being as though that you have it completely removed from the system. And you can just follow the same steps as far as placing it back in after the repair is finished. Obviously, you want to test it out, make sure that the repair is functional and correct, do good work before just closing it back up. But yes, this is the breakdown as far as getting inside and accessing the motherboard for any repairs and or cleanings of the PlayStation 5. And so with that, we have the entire breakdown. You can literally go through the first half of the video if you would like. Here we have the reassemble. We just sped it up a little bit. You can also slow the speed down if you wanted to catch this a bit slower so you can keep up. But as well, keeping your screws in order is the most excuse me, is the most vital thing, I would say. You don't want to lose any screws because, again, misplacing the screws, putting screws back in the incorrect space could lead to heating issues or other issues that wasn't even the initial reason of opening up your PlayStation 5. With that being said, we wish you the best with your repairs. Do good work. Measure twice, cut once. As you can see, we are now placing back the T9 screws, placing down the fan. Get those screws right back in the proper order. And there you have it. Make sure you test your PlayStation 5. We appreciate all the views. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, from the Tech Bros Repair channel, we wish you the best.